I don't know whether really this is true, but I would think it would be true. The people that get the toxicity because of the relationships that have not worked out.
Right.
You try the relationships, maybe land into a marriage, it does not work out, but you have children. And yes, we say that you become so harsh to these children because of the failed relationship. There are expectations that are not met. And it's not because of just the failed relationship, but I think even unmet expectations. You are in a marriage, but you have so many expectations that have not been met.
Because we watch telenovelas, whereby in a telenovela, they have like 8 takes for that beautiful scene you want to
for the unrealistic view.
Yes.
Someone hugging you from behind the back.
I would say if our
the
parents,
Salvador kind of thing.
if our parents impacted these values in us, even when I get into very many failed relationships, because of the values I got as a child, I can know how to do better.
So even when for a moment that anger overtakes you, you will always, I think that's why the Bible says, train a child in the ways of God, that even when they grow, they will never depart from them.
Yes.
The world will take you to a corner, press you hard, but because of the values that are inside of you, you will always be resilient and bounce back to a proper, okay. So that means we should never use anything as an excuse.
No. Exactly.
Yes, we can have mercy on you and say, oh, she has gone through a terrible thing. But again, that terrible thing should not define you. You should know that you're bringing up a whole generation. And I like the statement where you said, while we are saying that it's a curse that goes to the 4th generation, how about we say it can be a blessing? It can be a love that is shared.
Just like hurt
it
people,
can be harmony that is
right.
shared.
Just like hurt people.
Yes.
They tell you your family is poor, it's generational.
Poverty.
Let me tell you, it can be generational.
Wealth.
You can turn it around.
It can start with you.
You say it starts with me, not on my watch.
Yes.
Okay, for example, the men, I'll talk about men particularly, they say, I was raised by a father who was absentee, who was brutal and harsh, who was
polygamous.
Everything wrong with this father. But then he sits around and says, do I want to be that dad? Do I want to be that husband? They choose to walk away. While the other guy would say, well, I'll just be like my dad. I went through the same.
It's like they are enjoying what they are doing.
I might as well put another person into what I went through to feel. So what she's saying is you can choose to make a new legacy, choose right, and make a new story for you and your family and people around you. Yes.
I would say in Africa, most of the children face parent toxicity.
Right.
But they can't talk about
there
it.
is some
different angles.
There is some energy that comes with African parents, which is good, by the way, but of course everything in severity is bad. And all the kids have faced this. But when you grow up as a child, do you want that? Do you want your children to do that? And then you meet fellow millennial parents who say, I missed out on this. I'll give my kids in plenty, in excess. They do not know that is also another trait of being toxic to your children. Because you're not raising them for the next generation.
You're not raising a balanced child.
Yes.
It's more like covering up what you missed.
Yes. Exactly. They're actually healing. They're using it to cover for their trauma.
Kind of like the parents.
So they're thinking, I am doing double for what
So it
was
makes them feel good. So they're covering up, they're healing within them. Actually, they're not healing. They're covering up for the loss.
They're bandaging it, and while it's rotting inside and causing even more problems. And I think that is where we get the say that says that a simple life creates a harder life. Because then you're going to create hardships for your children. They will not know how to deal with people. They will not know how to be kind. They will not know how to persevere. They will not know how the persistence and the consistency of getting it to a successful life, because it came on a silver platter. You're trying to make up for all the lost time, and you're just creating a hard. Because I think for the baby boomers and I think Generation X, they grew up in a very hard life, and they sought to create a simpler life. They worked so hard.
So when they create a simpler life for millennials, now this one,
the millennials are creating a hard life.
They're even calling themselves soft lifers, Mrs. Soft Life.
You see? But
I'm not saying hard life
earned.
is good, but there is always a balance.
A balance.
You see, I'll give an example of the whites. Here in Africa, when you see a father standing up to be a stay-home father, people will mock them.
Of course, yeah.
They'll mock them. For a man to come out to show their emotions, they'll mock them. But that is coming from parent toxicity, where you say, boys don't cry. Boys don't. I mean, boys have emotions. Well, going back to the whites, we have a lot of information around us. Most of the white people do not allow their kids to access the information we give our children.
Right, because they have parental guidance on everything.
Everything.
On TV, on everything.
Everything. They have these things, but they have learned to strike a balance and control themselves and their kids to what they can access. But here, I do not know whether it is a rivalism or, all the trauma that we faced growing up, we want to give it all.
We are soft lifers.
Yeah.
You find a family, everyone is seated somewhere, they have a phone, and there is no guidance on that phone whatsoever. They can access anything, it has internet.
You enter a home and you actually think they know people who live in that home.
And they're all silent, doing something.
You know what? It is very important for their kids to go out to the park and play. In some countries, when a child makes 1 year, they always have to be at the daycare playing, doing nothing. You have to pay for that daycare, just playing. But here, you'll find a 1.5-year-old who learned how to watch Cocomelon on the phone, and you'll find them watching.
They'll speak like the cartoons.
They'll speak American accent.
Right.
Yes, yes. They'll even pick character traits from those
and behave like them.
And behave like them. Yeah. We are leaving the parenting to the devices, to the nannies, to the teachers. Yeah. But you as a parent, you're doing yourself a disservice. That when you grow, when your kid grows up, you'll sit down and you will not be able to turn back anything. You will not be proud of what you are saying. Yes. You know, like how this generation, we are taking care of our parents. But the Gen Zs and the Generation Alpha, I don't think they will be able to take care of their parents. No, that is black tax. How do you tell me to take care of my mother? That's black tax. Yeah, that means you will, groom children that after some time you'll have to actually help them maneuver. Yes. Build them a house so that they can marry. Yes. Marry them a woman. It's happening. We don't need to wait for the Generation Alpha. It's actually happening. Yeah, it's happening right now. Yes, it's happening. Lord. It's so sad. It's happening. Like, it's so sad how you see a parent. You have to take care of yourself. Then you have to take care of your 40-year-old or 35-year-old. They're still living under your roof. They cannot even make one sober decision. Right. They are busy buying booze in bars and paying for brothels and prostitutes. And then they come and sleep in your home. And you don't even have the guts to tell them, man up. Yeah. Because, you know, a kid's character shapes at 7. And if you've not done all the right things at 7, you know, in 7 years you've told this child most of the important things and taught them. If you have not done that, you can have an opening of the next 3 years when they make 10. But the moment they make 13, it's cemented in them. Yeah, it's cemented in them. You're not going to change anything. Here, they'll be in secondary. They'll find their friends at school, and their friends will say this and they'll say the other. Like, no, which is what takes us back to the Proverbs 22, which says that train up the child the way they go, and when they grow up, they will never depart. They don't depart. Even when the world throws all these things at you and you're exposed to schools, because you know the schools we take our children to, we try to instill all these things to them in their world as they grow up. But when they go into school, like I told you, I got this exposure about me being raised up differently in university. Yeah. So when this child goes and meets up with these people, especially for us who are Christians, right? We want our children to be different. I am a parent. And so this is the example I'll give is my child. So she goes to this school and then she's like, Mom, why? Okay, my friends keep asking me, why are you not on socials? You're not on TikTok, why are you not on Instagram? How old is your child, that one child? Right now, when she asked me that, she was 12. So, and I'm thinking... Yeah, 12 these days, they know everything in the world. They know better than you know. So I told her, what was your answer? Right. So I told her, what was your answer when they asked you that? She's like, well, I told them what you always told me. I was like, I was very interested to listen and see what she...
She's like, I told them your parents are not my parents. And in my head, I was like, yay.
Yeah.
So you see, yeah? So when you raise this child, they may see things differently at home.
Yeah.
But then when they get out there, they're like, okay, mom says no phone until I'm at this age and what.
They will
and they're
stand
okay
up
with
for
it.
themselves.
Until they get to see the whole class as a phone.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, okay, mom said so, but why? I need to also feel the rhythm and go with the flow and have all these TikTok dances and what. And I'm thinking, no, that's how.
Yeah, you're different.
Actually, it reminded me of
Ah,
something.
Joeria, hold that thought. I want us to start right there because I think so many parents are facing so many hardships when it comes to that, where their children go. And I think that's when the toxicity comes out. Don't ask me those many questions. And then the child is like, I was just trying to understand and get clarity about what is happening. Exactly. That's why I said, hold that thought. We're coming right back and join us. Don't go away.